So we're running a few errands today, so I decided to take you guys with me and we can have a little chit chat on the way because I need to make a video, but I also have 1,000 things I also have to do, so why not do both at the same time? Today I have to go to the T-Mobile store to get a SIM card because my French SIM card doesn't work here. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna try to get my nails done if I can find a place that is open. Maybe stop at Starbucks, maybe stop at Target, do some shopping. I don't know, wherever the wind blows us, but yeah, that's the plan. Hope my camera doesn't fall.
Hanging up my earlobes is a rock. Hanging up my waistline is a block. The body in that casket was a op. I don't throw no bottles, I throw shots.
I apologize if this message gets you down. And I CC'd every girl that I CC around town.
So since we're in February and we're about 4 days away from Valentine's Day, and love is in the air and everyone's talking about what they want for Valentine's Day and whatever, I'm inspired to talk about a topic that has been asked many times, and this is dating in France and what's the difference between dating in France and dating in the States. And there are a lot of differences. So today we're just going to drive around, do my errands, chit chat a little bit. I'm going to grab some coffee first. I am at Starbucks. I'm going to go through the drive-thru, get some coffee because it's still kind of early and my brain's not really working yet. So yeah, we're going to grab some coffee and then spill some tea while we drink our coffee. I haven't had Starbucks coffee in literally so long. I'm actually so excited for this. Comment your Starbucks order down below because I want to try some new drinks. I get the same thing every time, so I want to try some new things, you know. Can I please have a venti iced caramel macchiato with soy milk?
Venti iced caramel macchiato with soy milk?
Yes, please. And then can I have a shot of espresso in there, please?
An extra shot of espresso?
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
7:05 at the window.
Guys, when I used to work at the hospital, I used to work in the ER and I would work overnights all the time, and I would literally get an iced caramel macchiato with soy milk and 4 shots of espresso. I think it already comes with 2 maybe, so I would get 2 extra ones and I would literally be up all night. And now that I think about it, that couldn't have been healthy, but it worked. It kept me awake, so.
Is it a tap one?
Yeah, but it never really works. Ah, cool.
I'll be drinking a second for you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. You too. Like mascara off a pillowcase. Cure one too many headache. Alright, that was illegal, but it's fine. I'm going to get my nails done. I just made an appointment at 1 o'clock and it's 12:15 right now. So I'm just waiting in the parking lot until it's time for my appointment. So I figured now would be the perfect time to talk about dating in France and what it's really like and how is it different than dating in the States, because it is very different.
That's what that means.
Vlogging is literally so awkward. People stare at you and you're just like, yeah, I'm talking to myself, talking to a camera, it's fine. I'm sure they've seen way weirder things. Anyway, so dating in France. So I think the biggest difference between dating in France and dating here in the States is just everything moves a lot faster in France. In France, if you meet someone and you go on a date and you like each other and you decide that things are going well, and then if you kiss after that date, most of the time that kind of like seals the deal and it solidifies the fact that you two are in a relationship and you're not seeing other people. And so in that sense, I think things tend to move fairly quickly and there's not really like a dating scene in France. It's either you're together or you're not. There's not really like an in-between, whereas here it's kind of like you can meet someone that you like and go on dates or whatever, but you can also still be going on dates with other people and getting to know other people, so it's not necessarily like an exclusive thing until you both sit down and have the conversation that you're like deciding to be exclusive. And it's like this long drawn out process of talking, being in the talking phase and getting to know each other. and then deciding if you want to be together, and it's like a huge deal when you decide to be exclusive and call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever. Whereas in France, it's kind of like, okay, you like me, I like you, we're gonna be together, and we'll call each other boyfriend and girlfriend and just go from there. It's just assumed. You don't really have that conversation. It's assumed that you're together in a relationship, at least after you guys have your first kiss, basically. If you go on a date, 1 date, 2 dates, and you kiss, you're basically in a relationship. And this I had to learn the hard way, because I found out that I was in a few relationships in France that I didn't know about before I knew about this rule. So don't be like me. Learn the dating culture before you move to the country, because it was very interesting for me to find out that the person that I was seeing casually, I thought otherwise. So yeah, don't be like me. And don't get me wrong, even though they tend to move quickly and become exclusive really quick in a relationship, there is still a hookup culture in France. I remember in my Let's Chat Red Wine Talk video I made with Tyla, we talked about dating in France, and I saw so many comments and I got so many DMs from French people who were like, that's not always true, you know, you can be casual, there's hookups too, blah blah blah. Just because you kiss doesn't mean you're exclusive. And yes, of course that's true for anywhere you go. It's not like one size fits all rule for every single person in France that after you kiss you're in a relationship, of course. But I'm just speaking from my experience and like the general idea of dating that they have there. Of course there's still hookup culture. There's Tinder just like everywhere else. There's dating apps where there's people who just want to hook up and don't want anything serious. Of course you'll find that in any country. So I'm not here to say that France is not like that, because they definitely are. There are people who are like that too. So I just wanted to put that little disclaimer in there before I get comments on this video telling me that I'm wrong or whatever. I think when I first came to France, I kind of like thought that the way that they date was strange, because it didn't seem normal to me to just jump in a relationship with someone quickly and like get to know someone after you get in a relationship, because I've always just thought like you go out with someone a few times, you get to know them before you decide, do I want to be with this person or not? So initially I thought it was a little weird that the French kind of like to just jump into things, but I think it's nice that they like to take their time getting to know one person, and there's not really a scene here of like dating multiple people at once. So I think it's good because it kind of allows people to date with intention and focus on one person at a time, which I think that's the way it should be. I also think that the quality of dates is a little bit better in France. I think the men there put a little bit more effort into dates and doing things that are fun and exciting and not always the same thing, whereas in the States, maybe it's just the guys that I've dated, but I feel like it's always the same. It's always like, let's go get a drink, or let's go to dinner, let's go see a movie, and like that's cool, but like I don't know, I feel like, how do you really get to know someone like that? I think adventure dates are way more fun when you're doing something and you get to kind of show your personality a bit more than when you're just out at dinner or watching a movie. You can't even talk while you're watching a movie. How do you get to know someone like that? So I think France is a little bit better in that sense, just because there's so much culture and so much history. You could go to a museum, you could go sightseeing, do whatever. There's so many more things to do than there is here. At least, I guess, the places that I've lived, there's never anything to do besides like eat somewhere. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that a little bit more. Another thing that I like better about dating in France is that I think the men are more emotionally intelligent and they're better at communicating their emotions. I think in the States, again, not all men, before the not all men crew comes for me, I think the guys in the States are not always very good at communicating, and they don't like to show weakness or be sensitive because they think it's a weakness, whatever. And dating here is kind of like the person who shows the most emotion loses. Like, I feel like it's in the States, it's constantly a game of like pretending that you're not interested or pretending that you don't care, because you don't want to show too much that you're interested. You have to play it cool and like act casual and act like you don't care, and it's like such a show and so many games. And so that's one thing that I appreciate in France, is that I feel like they're just more chill. They go with the flow. If they like you, they'll tell you. If they don't like you, you'll know. Like, there's not this hidden sense of like, I have to pretend like I don't care and play all these games and play hard to get. It's just, if they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. And that's that. Another thing that I've noticed in France is that there's not really a negative connotation here on exes. I've met so many guys and girls who are still friends with their exes, and that's like a normal thing here. And I think in the States that has kind of like a negative idea. Like a lot of people aren't friends with exes, or some people think you can't be friends with your ex, or you shouldn't be friends with your ex, blah blah blah, whatever. But in France it's kind of just like, it's like they're still a friend, you know. We dated, it didn't work out, but we're still friends, and that's normal. It's normal to go have lunch with an ex or have coffee with an ex, and it's not seen as anything weird, and people just don't care. They're just much more open, and there's not so much, a relationship title is not as big of a deal, I think, as like Americans make it. So even if you're dating for a few weeks, a few months, whatever, and you're in a relationship, if it doesn't work out, you break up and it doesn't work out, and that's the end. And I think here in America, you work so hard and date someone for so long and get to know them for so long, so many weeks, months, whatever, that once you get to that boyfriend, girlfriend title, it's like a feeling of you working for something. You feel like you earned that, or like you worked to get to that point. So you're not as willing to end things when they're not working out, or they're not what you want anymore, because you feel like, I worked so hard to get this title and be your girlfriend or be your boyfriend or whatever. And so I think in France it's a lot more chill, because if it's not working out, whether you're exclusive or not, if it doesn't work out, you break up and then you date someone else. So it's not really like as serious. Even though they become exclusive sooner, it's not really as serious, I guess. There's not really a pressure behind that title of boyfriend or girlfriend, in my experience. Although I prefer the French way of dating, I haven't had much luck on the dating scene, unfortunately. I've been on a few dates, don't get me wrong. I've met some really awesome guys, been on some nice dates, met some really terrible men, and been on some really terrible dates as well. But I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's really hard to make a genuine connection with someone, I think. In France, it's been very difficult. I don't know why. I wish I had an answer. I don't know if it's the language barrier. Some things don't always translate like the way you want them to, or like, I don't know what it is. French men in general really aren't my type, so maybe that's part of the reason. They tend to be very skinny and very short, and I like guys who are tall and built and speak English well, and that's not really the majority of men in France, so maybe that's why. But I don't know, it seems like every time I meet a guy that's attractive and that I can talk to and like, they're always from somewhere else. They're always from another country. They're never French. They're always traveling and just in the country. So I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to move to another country, but France just ain't it for me right now. But I am interested to hear what you guys think. So if you're a guy or a girl who is French or who has lived in France and you have some experiences that you want to share, I would love to hear your opinion, because I've heard differing opinions from both Americans and French people, and some people prefer the French way, some people don't. So I'm interested to hear your guys' experiences, and tell me what dating is like in your country if you're from another country that's not France or the US, because I'm always curious to know how things work. Are the men romantic? Are the women romantic? What are the dates? Like, what do you guys do on a date? How many dates do you go on before you become exclusive? And like, do you have to have the talk? Like, how does it work? I want to hear everything. Alright guys, that's the end of my rant for now. I hope you guys gained some insight into dating life overseas versus dating life in America. I'm interested to know what dating is like where you live, so please leave a comment down below. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao!